The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. The Lord is my shepherd. Fresh and green are the pastures where he gives me repose. Near restful waters he leads me, to revive my drooping spirit. He guides me along the right path. He is true to his name. If I should walk in the valley of darkness, no evil would I fear. You are there with your crook and your staff. With these you give me comfort. You have prepared a banquet for me in the sight of my foes. My head you have anointed with oil. My cup is overflowing. Surely goodness and kindness shall follow me all the days of my life. In the Lord's own house shall I dwell forever and ever. The Lord is my shepherd. There is nothing I shall want. The underworld will not overcome it.
El Señor esté con vosotros.
The Lord be with you, and with your spirit. A reading from the Gospel of Matthew. When Jesus came to the region of Caesarea Philippi, he put this question to his disciples: Who do people say that the Son of Man is? And they said, Some say he is John the Baptist, some Elijah, and others Jeremiah or one of the prophets. But you, he said, who do you say that I am? Then Simon Peter spoke up, You are the Christ, the Son of the living God. Jesus replied, Simon, son of Jonah, you are a happy man, because it was not flesh and blood that revealed this to you, but my Father in heaven. So I now say to you, You are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of the underworld can never hold out against it. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth shall be considered bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth shall be considered loosed in heaven. The word of the Lord. Dear brothers and sisters, especially those of you who are sick, any elderly people that might be following the transmission, the first reading that we read today speaks, St. Peter is the one speaking, and he's a priest speaking to other priests, an elder speaking to other elders, exhorting them to be good shepherds, good pastors, and that they would take care of the flock that has been entrusted to them. He says to watch over it, not simply as a duty, but gladly. Not for sordid money, but because you're eager to take care of them. Not just to get a house out of it. And he also says not to be a dictator, but to do it gladly. Having come to this point, perhaps a lot of us who have been raised in a Christian Catholic faith, we could remember how in the past we've met some good priests This morning, for example, I was thinking of Don Augustine and my first confession. I still remember in the parish of St. Fulgence in Pozo Estrecho. I still remember the place where that drawer was. It was black. It was very uncomfortable. And that's where he used to sit. He used to sit on top of that and to hear the first confessions. And I remember my first confession. Perhaps a lot of us, when we hear this, we could say, I remember as well. I remember where the confessional was. I remember what the church was like where I received my first communion. I remember where I used to sit during catechism class and what he used to say to us. I remember how enjoyable it was and how they used to try to make it more enjoyable for us kids by doing raffles and things like that. We all have these kinds of experiences. Unfortunately, many of the children nowadays, and even some who have already grown up, are not going to have that type of experience of faith. Why? Because of a lack of priests. Just because of a lack of priests? No. Because of a lack of good priests. Good and holy priests. Not too long ago, I was reading an article by a blogger on Info Católica, and it was called the title said, "My God, how much filth." And that's how he started off his article, explaining the situation in the church. He's an Argentinian priest, and he's the one who writing this article. But we could say the same thing about Spain. My God, how much filth. And couldn't you say the same thing in Italy? My God, how much filth.